People, Deluded, I'm back again. Welcome back, man. YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Tariq Amazing, if you're watching it. I've said it. I ain't said it in a while, but I've said it. Now, David Ornstein has been on the BBC radio, I believe. I think he's actually offered opinions in regards to Liverpool and United, as well as Arsenal. I think in regards to Liverpool, he touched on Pepe. In regards to United, I can't remember. I think he expanded on Wan-Bissaka. I don't really know. I was just focused on Arsenal. Now, he said a lot, but nothing. I say nothing in that he's repeated these things before and they've been said, so it leads me to believe they're true. First thing is that I had to recheck this, but allegedly, Ornstein said that the £45 million budget doesn't just include new contracts, but it includes salaries of new signings. Now, again, I'm not a finance man, but you've got a, just if we was to use a blanket over it, people, just say you bought Torreira for 20 million. If his yearly wage that he takes home is 3 million, then the transfer fee, I assume, is not 20 million, it's 23, isn't it? A lie. So at first their yearly salaries might not add up, but if it's a 3 million here, 2 million there, that quickly eats up the 45 million budget. And in terms of FFP probably crippling us, and in terms of the mess we've made of this makes it even more trickier to manoeuvre. If it has got future salaries, then you have to look at the profile of player you're going for, because that makes, well, Zaha is a myth, but this would make Zaha even more impossible. So it doesn't include money for new contracts with, I assume, the existing players. Torreira, in my opinion, be in line for that. Probably Guendouzi. We're seeing Aubameyang and Lacazette and all these players linked with them sort of things, people. So that makes balancing the books even more tricky. And again, we're not here by accident. We're in this position because of years and years of certain decisions being made. You don't get in this position by accident. He's also gone on to say, obviously that makes the decision more complicated, or makes our decision making even more complicated, on top of not technically having Edu within his position. He's spoken about Edu as well, and he said that he's liaising with Unai Emery and everybody in regards to drawing up transfer targets and things like that. So it's nice to see. How much work can he possibly give time to do him that with Emery right now? I'm not too sure, because he still owes it to Brazil to finish off his role there. But we're going to need to hit the ground running. We know the transfer window closes when the season starts. We know pre-season is starting slow. When you look around, yeah, you're hearing a couple moves and you're seeing Spurs with Ndombele, but nobody's really doing the bulk of it yet. We're going to see it pick up in the next few months, so we just need to, I think we need to, as much as we need to rebuild, let's give the club a bit of a bly and in a week or 2 weeks review this and say, well, yo, what are we doing right now? In regards to Turney, he said talks are still ongoing. There's optimism around the club. I mean, when that's said, there's time to panic, really. But there's optimism. Apparently, Turney's personal negotiations in regards to his contract and all of that jazz with his agent isn't going to be an issue. Apparently, he's ready to go ahead with a medical. Now, I believe currently Turney's in Austria, forgive me if I'm wrong, with Celtic. Neil Lennon's played quite coy on his future as well, and has more or less said every player's got a price sort of thing. I don't think he wants him to leave, but you get it. So like I said, he's spoken about the transfers. He said we are in an ideal world, I assume, what we want is a wide player, a centre-half, and a box-to-box player, as well as a left-back, which is cool, people. In my opinion, if you look at that, the wide player is going to be too expensive. I mean, the outlay is going to be a bit too much. If we just look at it, Zaha, centre-half, hopefully we get Saliba, but to loan him back it wouldn't help us at all in our situation, because we just spent money on the centre-half and he's not going to be at the club, leaving us with the same options from last season. Box-to-box midfielder, we know we need more dynamism in that midfield, man. I don't think Xhaka is dynamic enough for all the positives he gives us at a time. It unbalances with the negatives. I feel we're too easy to overrun in midfield generally, but I think a big part of that is Xhaka. He's not mobile enough, whether it's helping out the fullbacks, whether it's pressing. He has done good defensively at times, I'm not going to say it against him, but more often than not, on top of his naiveties defensively, yeah, he will come unstuck time and time again. This is why I think Xhaka's decent for the squad, but if I was his manager, he wouldn't be playing week in, week out like he's done under Wenger and Emery. But both their managers know way more about football than I'll ever know. They deem a man vital to their team and stuff based on the fact that Xhaka's been given new contracts, captain, and like I said, playing week in, week out. Then what am I to tell Emery, to be fair with you? One thing that kind of concerned me is Jason... Wait, one sec, people. Forgive me, people. Hay fever season. But one thing that kind of concerned me, and just as I sneezed, people, I've lost the page I was at, so give me a second. There it is. Jason Roosevelt. Forgive me if I've mispronounced his name. He's the guy that's involved with the Stat DNA business and was allegedly involved in some capacity in the recruitment for a new manager with Wenger. Obviously, we all know about the Stat DNA stuff. Apparently, he's involved in transfers at this club, and apparently he's someone who's big on numbers and big on statistics. You would be if you do Stat DNA. He runs the numbers and apparently, in regards to Zaha, there's a difference of opinion on his physical statistics. Now, I don't see the problem in statistics. If the club want to go big on stats, that's good, innit? In an ideal world, you balance the statistics with what your eyes see. I believe the eyes are the overruling test, but I believe statistics and these things, it helps you paint a picture on an individual. And all you're trying to do with these statistics and stuff is just narrow down the errors for margin in regards to a good or bad signing, because it doesn't matter how much due diligence you do on a signing, people. It's all a gamble. Do you get it, people? It does concern me that, again, we're focusing a bit too much on numbers, really and truly, because we've missed out on a lot of targets and we've done a lot of dumb stuff, man. And to be fair, the people that are looking at the statistics, they have to be competent footballing men, because if they're not, they're just going to see mad stats like we've probably seen with Mustafi and think this is the guy. And time again, it is shown that it's not. In regards to Mustafi as well, which kind of made me chuckle, apparently Emre decided after the Europa League final that Mustafi should be sold. Now, I haven't got much time for Mustafi. I believe he should be sold, but it made me laugh because a man didn't even play. Do you know how vexed you have to be at a man if you're deciding right after that he has to go? It's better late than never. But do you know he didn't even play? It's like Emery must have been shouting at other players and he just saw Mustafi's face and he said, you know what, you're out of here, man. You're out of here. So we'll see, man. I mean, as much as it's coming from Ornstein, so I have to take it as gospel. Emery's an intelligent man. I don't think he got to the point of after the Europa League final, Mustafi has to go, unless it was something mad. I think he decided that a long time ago, really and truly. And I think part of me feels he's used Mustafi out of necessity because he simply had no choice. And part of me actually thinks he's got time for Mustafi. Not that he necessarily rates him, but there's something with him. Mustafi probably going to be until his contract ends, because unless you basement fee, ultimate bargain, and Mustafi and bargain really shouldn't be used in the same sentence. I can't see him going, people, because he's on big money. I'm pretty sure, as much as I think Mustafi's not good, people, I think another Prem team will get decent money for him, because who's that Spurs had? Is it Vima or something? They got 18 million from Stoke a couple years ago. Now, I don't rate him or Mustafi really and truly, and I ain't watched him in the last few seasons, but I'm pretty sure he was as terrible as Mustafi. One team gets 18 million, another team will get 2 million and a handshake and probably a t-shirt. Do you get it, people? So we need to upgrade in that regards. It'd be nice to see Mustafi off the books, in my opinion. If you don't remember, I made a video about how in an ideal world, you've got Edu doing his position, you've got Kaijigyo, I can never say his name, as a senior scout doing his thing, you've got Raul Sanye with the contracts and all these other elite individuals respectively, people, yeah? In an ideal world, they'd work in tandem, sharing their expertise and coming to a conclusion. In reality, the more opinions, the harder it is to get things done. You know, Emre is a head coach, so his opinion does matter. He can have an opinion, but he doesn't have the same power that a Ferguson or Wenger had, and he has to more or less do what he's told and use what he has, whether that's incoming talent or players already at the club. As you already know, Sanye is leading the recruitment process. He also has Kaigio, I can never say his name, as the senior scout. Hus Farme is negotiating contracts, as so is Emre allegedly, apparently. But Emre doesn't have the same power, so we already know that. And in my opinion, conflicting opinions can make this thing difficult in terms of, because think about it, Raul Sanye might think this is the centre half. Emre might think I want this centre half. Kaijigyo might have scouted some other centre half, and I've said about 3-4 names. That's 3-4 different profiles. If it comes down to a vote or sharing opinions, then great. But you see how it can go left, people, and make things tougher on top of already playing catch-up. So they'll all need to be on the same page. And Emre probably knew the territory Arsenal's moving in, and that his job is to facilitate the talent that comes through the door, develop it as well. Yes, he would like his own players. Yes, he would like a hand in suggesting targets and who deserves to be moved on. But the underlying factor 9 times out of 10 is he has to work within his means with what he has. And I've got a lot of sympathy with him, with a lot of these players that are past it. But he knew the role he was walking into. So next season, there's question marks over everybody if we don't do certain things. in regards to Emre as well, he's also gone on and said he's definitely a fulcrum. Hopefully I've said that word correctly. My English ain't that good. But he said Emre is definitely a fulcrum of the decision-making process and pursuing targets. He also has some people around him who are influential in this regard. So if Emre, on top of what I've just said, if Emre's got his own people them around him, you see, I can make it even more complex. Because I've said this in another vid. Obviously, he's got the coaches next to him, Carcedo and that. These are probably people he's been through the trenches with and values their opinion. It makes it tougher. If you consider the example I've just said and add in that Carcedo might say, yeah, Wolby is rubbish, man, get rid of him. Emre might think he's good, but he might listen to his teammate, his coaching team. Do you get what I'm saying? Emre might have even rated Jeffrey Adley. People said this ain't the guy to move forward with based on what I've seen. Let's do this. You need people around you, people. You need a lot of conflicting opinions around you. You need people who are not just going to agree with you, but it does make it a bit more difficult. And Emre does strike me to a degree as someone that can be swayed to a degree because he's worked under these circumstances. I think Emre has his opinions on what he wants to do, but because he's worked within his means at Seville and now at Arsenal, he's more, okay, then we'll get another suggestion to get at people, rather than put his foot down sort of thing. Not a yes man for people that think I'm criticising him. I just think someone that will roll up their sleeves rather than moan and just work within their means and ultimately die on their sword. I don't feel I'm missing anything out, and if I am, cool. These are just the comments I came across on Twitter. Shout out to all them Arsenal Twitter accounts that be doing round the clock news and all them things all the time, man. Because without them, I wouldn't be able to offer my opinion. But in regards to that, I'm gone, man. I got nothing more to add. So people, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking with me.